Hey, everybody. Markets continue to grind higher. It wasn't such an easy move this morning. Let's see if I can scroll that over. It did gap up, and this was one of the tells. We saw this move down, and it sprung right back up again, but it was pretty sloppy the whole time. Not until after 12 o'clock. I guess everybody goes to lunch. That buyers came in a little more aggressively. And so how do we measure that? Well, this here, pretty much messy kind of price action overlapping bars. And I said that was the tell. But here is where it starts to become, I would say, more reliable as far as patterns go that present opportunities that less likely to be whipsawed. Strong move up, little consolidation there, and the dip and reversal. Another key, once it's going and how to monitor that, is how the bars are moving up. Of course, the little bottoming tail bar, that's another little tell. But the bar ranges are about equal in size as it grinds higher. So now you can see that it's stalled right here. And one of the things to use that I use, and I mentioned in the green room a little while ago, when things are moving up, we look to the left, right, and see that, hey, it's coming up to a resistance area. It's likely to stall. Common sense. Now, when we look at resistance, that's one part of what we look at. Where's support? Well, our first reference point of support is a prior day's low, and then, of course, as things start to move up, I look at the 5-minute chart. Is it above the opening price? Is it below yesterday's close? Is it rising? And so that is, bullish alignment. Now, one of the things that you can use is to sort your option table. Put SPX on there and sort it by volume. And what you find is the highest volume strike of the day, it tends to be where prices gravitate toward. I've seen plenty of times where they get marginally above, but it tends to be a pretty good reference point. And anything that we use, whether it's like a moving average or something like this other than price, you always look to the left, see if it lines up with that. Many times it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But being like a half number, 50 points or sometimes 50 cents on a stock, you can see it's got the high and a pretty large difference. Look at the next strike at 60.10, 49. This one's 71. So it's a pretty substantial difference. And you can see right when it reached there is where it started to back off. It's still in an uptrend and a really strong trend. There's no pivots on the way up. But when you see a bottoming tail bar like that, where it's not marked as a pivot, but it springs down and back up again in a smaller time frame, it's going to be a pivot. So that would be a reference point without even looking at the smaller time frame. That's where you would want to go and, well, you don't have to go look. Just expectation is it's going to stall somewhere in this area. You can see the 20 on this time frame lines up with that point as well. NASDAQ underperforming. It did not exceed that high, but coming up to it. It's beginning just chopping sideways. Again, you see the dip was bought again. You could see the spring down and right back up again. That's a tell. And same kind of a pattern here. I wouldn't really call it a bull flag, but call it what you want. As we say in MT Live, the message is that it's going to go up. It was a strong move up and it dipped down and flipped right back up again. So did we know it would take out, or did I know it would take out the high of the day? No, but just like any bullish price action that precedes a move higher, you assume that that's a possibility or even a probability. Excuse me. And so now as it comes up to on the 65-minute, this stiffer area, and you can see it's still bullish on this time frame, but it's stalled for the moment. Regional banks, a whole bunch of them is going to be reporting earnings. If you got this platform, you can just go and sort this by earnings date, sort it the other way. You can do that, and you can see some already reported this morning, some maybe after the close, but as you scroll down, you see there's a whole bunch of regional banks that are going to be reporting. XLF continues to grind higher. Again, the move that started that prior Wednesday on the economic reports, a tenth of a percent less than expected as far as the, I forget, whatever it was, inflation, and came in a little bit lower. And so rebirth of expectations for a rate cut. And so things have been moving up. Transports consolidating. Be interested to see if this can take out this high tomorrow and see if these begin to play some catch up. IWM coming up to the 50 and an area of minor resistance. What's doing well here? Aerospace and defense. Yes, Trump comments about building the military help fuel that, and that's coming up to resistance in a wide range bar. As this is moving up, you can look at the stocks that are in there. So it's clearly that one underperforming compared to the index, but these look interesting as far as potential bottoming patterns. We'll see if we get some kind of a retest in the near future. Some of these come in. Oh, there's one outperforming, breaking out. So pretty easy to see this one showing relative strength. Biotech's just been, beaten down for the longest time. Miners, gold miners. So a little bit more, I guess, inflation thoughts. Telecom. So a lot of things that were trending down and starting to break down, reversed back up again. See, the weekly charts look like they can go higher. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. SMHs continue to improve. 100% retracement. It can just a wider trading range. And so if I just kind of, draw the lines in for you, it was like a tighter trading range, and now it's coming up to the top of the upper part of the trading range. So as whatever it is, whether it's semiconductors, Qs, spiders, or anything else coming up to a resistance area after several days up, the expectation is that it's going to stall. And I talked this morning about tightening up patterns. What does that mean? Well, as it comes up to resistance, rather than going all the way back down again, like this was doing, it either has a shallow retracement or it goes sideways there. The pattern tightens up versus this volatility of whipping up and down. And then that would suggest it will continue to go higher since buyers are stepping up at a higher level. So what to look for in the coming days. If it dips down, bottoming tail bars. If you get a red bar ignored, where it flips right back up again, what we call a bullish 180. So different patterns can happen. So we'll just see how it sets up. Right now, prices being up near resistance, it's just not the time to enter, because where would you put your stop? Just under a prior day's low and possibly get whipsawed? That doesn't make much sense. So we'll just wait and see we get some kind of a pullback or sideways price action for a new entry point. As always, if you have questions, email us, Greg@MasterTrader.